The Sterling family, who had always longed for a daughter, finally welcomed their little heiress, Lily Sterling. Grandpa Richard Sterling was so thrilled he immediately announced he'd be leaving his multi-billion-dollar fortune to Lily. But at her welcome party, the private doctor, Dr. Reed, knelt on the floor, his face ashen. Mr. Sterling, Lily is very frail. She's in respiratory failure. I'm afraid she won't make it through the night. Mrs. Evelyn Sterling fainted on the spot. Hearing this, Lily's 8 older brothers charged towards me, ready to give me, the newly hired intern nanny, a good beating. I was trembling with fear, about to explain, when a furious baby voice suddenly echoed in my mind. The perfume on that woman in the white dress is poisonous. I only faked my breathlessness because I smelled it. Quick, get me to somewhere ventilated. After pulling a VIP spawn with 100,000 good karma points, I'm getting poisoned right out of the gate? Whoever saves me gets $1 billion. The next second, I lunged towards Lily. Don't touch her. I pushed away the maid blocking the crib and scooped up the baby, swaddle and all. Just then, Ethan Sterling, the eldest son, strode forward, veins bulging on the back of his hand. Are you trying to get yourself killed? I clutched the baby and backed away several steps, my back hitting the wine cabinet, making the glasses clink loudly. She's not dead. She can still be saved. Dr. Reed, who was still kneeling nearby, his face darkening, immediately stood up. Nonsense. The child is in severe respiratory failure. Her cardiopulmonary function is almost at a standstill. What do you, an intern nanny, know? Sarah White, Mr. Sterling's secretary, had red-rimmed eyes, but her fingers were tightly clenched. Chloe, I know you just started and are afraid of taking responsibility, but you can't torment the baby like this. Lily is already so pitiful. Why are you making her suffer more? As she spoke, she moved 2 steps closer to me. That sickly sweet perfume scent wafted into my nose again. The little thing in my arms screamed in my head. That's the smell. Back off, back off. If I smell it again, I'll really kick the bucket. My scalp tingled, and I quickly dodged sideways with the baby, putting some distance between us and Sarah. Mr. Sterling, David, who had been by the unconscious Evelyn's side, suddenly whipped his head around, his eyes bloodshot. What did you just say? My palms were sweating from nerves. Lily isn't dying naturally. She was poisoned, which caused her to stop breathing. She can't stand this strong scent. She needs to be taken to a well-ventilated place immediately. Dr. Reed's face changed, and his voice shot up. Absurd. I've been practicing for 20 years. Are you saying I can't even tell if an infant is breathing or not? Mr. Sterling, this nanny is clearly trying to shirk responsibility and is deliberately spreading baseless rumors. Noah Sterling, the 3rd son, slammed his fist on the table, shattering a wine glass. Lily has always been fine. How could she suddenly be poisoned? Hearing this, Sarah White's eyes immediately reddened. It's all my fault. I just thought Lily was so cute and got a bit closer to look at her. If I had known Chloe would make a fuss over it, I wouldn't have gone near her. The baby's voice in my arms was trembling with anger. She's faking it. Still faking it. She didn't spray ordinary perfume at all. It's mixed with irritants that are deadly to infants. I gritted my teeth and looked up. Mr. Sterling, there's something wrong with the perfume she's wearing. Sarah White's face subtly changed, but she quickly approached me again, her eyes red. What do you mean? I'm kindly comforting Mr. Sterling, and because you can't save the child, you want to pin the blame on me? The Sterling son's gazes grew colder and colder. My legs were shaking, but the little one in my arms was growing weaker, and the voice in my head kept urging me. Get me out of here. There are too many people in this room, and the air is stale. I'm going to suffocate. I took a deep breath, deciding to go all in. Now isn't the time to assign blame. Any more delay, and Lily really will lose her life. Dr. Reed stepped forward with a stern face. If we let her continue this madness, the child won't even have her final dignity. Mr. Sterling, apprehend her at once. 2 bodyguards immediately closed in. My gaze swept across the room, spotting a half-open French door at the far end of the banquet hall. Then I looked at the extremely weak Lily in my arms. Go. $1 billion. I always keep my promises. My mind raced. I hugged the baby tight, turned and ran. I had barely run 2 steps when someone roughly yanked my shoulder. Sarah White lunged from behind, her sharp nails digging into my flesh. Stop her. She's trying to steal the baby. That shout sent the entire banquet hall into chaos. Several bodyguards rushed forward simultaneously, blocking my path to the window. I was forced to retreat repeatedly, my lower back hitting the buffet table. I'm not stealing the baby. I'm saving her. Liam Sterling, the 4th son, sneered, slamming a carving knife onto the table. Saving her? You're running around with a child who's almost breathless, and you call that saving her? Dr. Reed quickly approached, sweat beading on his forehead. Mr. Sterling, we can't let her continue this madness. Lily's body is already naturally frail. If she falls or gets bumped, it will even be difficult to determine the cause of death. The baby's voice in my arms was almost crying. I'm not dead yet. What cause of death are you talking about? Why are these people more impatient than the Grim Reaper himself? I almost laughed at her remark, but more than that, I was alarmed. Her voice was much weaker than before. I couldn't afford to delay. I dodged sideways with the baby, stepping on a chair and scrambling over it. Several champagne flutes crashed to the floor. Noah Sterling cursed angrily. That crazy woman. As I landed, a hand suddenly blocked my way. It was Mr. Sterling David. His eyes were bloodshot, and his entire demeanor was seething with suppressed anger. Say that again. My breath was ragged. I clutched the swaddle tight, squeezing out each word. Lily isn't critically ill. She suffered from breathlessness induced by an irritating scent. As long as she leaves this place and breathes clean air, she can still wake up. Sarah White, her face pale, clutched her lower abdomen, her voice choked with tears. Mr. Sterling, she's slandering me. I'm carrying your child too. How could I possibly harm Lily? At this statement, the entire hall fell silent. The sons were also stunned. Mr. Sterling's pupils suddenly constricted. What did you say? Sarah White's tears fell, and she gently placed a hand on her stomach. I had planned to tell you later. I found out at the hospital today. I'm already over a month pregnant. I know it's not appropriate to say this now, but I just wanted to be by your side, and I never expected to be falsely accused like this. Hearing this, the baby's voice in my arms was furious. Pfft, she's bringing up her pregnancy now. She's treating you all like idiots. Forget about her for now. I'm really running out of air. Just then, Sarah White took another step forward. The scent wafted over, and Lily in my arms stiffened. Her already faint body temperature also began to drop. My face instantly changed, and I violently dodged sideways. Don't come near her. Sarah White flinched at my shout, her tears falling even more profusely. Mr. Sterling, did you see that? She's so hostile towards me, it's clearly premeditated. Dr. Reed immediately chimed in. Exactly. And the child's problem occurred while she was under her care. The most suspicious person, by default, is her. Mason Sterling, the 2nd son, slowly advanced towards me, his voice low. Either put Lily down, or I'll do it myself. Lily in my arms seemed to exert her last ounce of strength, calling out in a tiny voice. The window, to the left. There's a breeze over there. My peripheral vision caught sight of a crack in the side door of the banquet hall, leading to a patio. I took a sharp breath, hugged the baby, and dashed towards it. Mason reached out to block me, but I lowered my head and shoulder barged past his arm. Footsteps behind me scrambled chaotically. Sarah White shrieked. "Grab her! Don't let her take the baby away!" The moment my hand touched the doorknob, I was violently shoved from behind. I instantly lost my balance. To protect the baby, I twisted my body, my knees and elbows hitting the ground hard. The swaddle was still tightly cradled in my arms. A commotion erupted around me, and the cold air from the patio finally streamed in through the door crack. The baby's faint voice in my head trembled slightly. It's working a little." "Close the door," Dr. Reed sharply ordered, and 2 bodyguards immediately rushed over, trying to reclose the patio door. I was still kneeling on the ground, my knees burning with pain, but my mind cleared instantly. I lunged forward with the baby, half my body wedging into the door crack. The bodyguards paused. Noah Sterling's face turned livid with anger. "Are you crazy? What if you hurt the baby?" I bit down hard on my lip. "She needs ventilation, not your emergency resuscitation procedures." Dr. Reed's eye twitched. "Ignorance. A baby in respiratory failure will only die faster from the stimulation of cold air." The baby's voice in my arms was weak and intermittent. "Don't listen to his bullshit. What I'm most afraid of right now is that woman's smell." I desperately held the door open, sweat pouring down my forehead. Just then, a deep, hoarse voice came from nearby. "Let me see the child." I looked back. It was Grandpa Richard Sterling. The old man stood not far away, leaning on his cane, his face looking terrible. Sarah White immediately went up to him, her face full of concern. "Grandpa Sterling, please don't get upset. Your health is important. This nanny has already caused Mr. Sterling to lose control. Please don't let her deceive you." As she spoke, she raised her hand to help him. Grandpa Richard Sterling's cane stopped, and he directly pushed her hand away. "Get lost." Sarah White's expression instantly froze. Grandpa Richard Sterling walked over step by step, his gaze falling on the child in my arms. "You say she's still breathing. What's your proof?" I licked my dry lips. Just now, when the patio door opened a crack, her reaction changed the moment she felt the breeze. "Just give me a little more time." Dr. Reed quickly interrupted. "Mr. Sterling, the child currently has no autonomous breathing response. Her face is bruised, and she is in critical condition. You can't pin your hopes on an outsider's wild claims." The Sterling son stood in a line, creating an oppressive atmosphere that made it hard to breathe. I knew that if any of them raised a hand, I was done for today. But Lily in my arms grew even weaker. "I'm so sleepy. Don't let her get close to me." I looked up and saw Sarah White had somehow approached a few more steps. Her face still held that pitiful, innocent look. "Chloe, you keep saying my perfume has a problem, but why don't you show us proof?" My heart sank. Right? I had no proof. I couldn't exactly say the baby told me herself. Sarah White saw my hesitation, a flicker of triumph in her eyes. Then she covered her belly and took a gentle breath. "Besides, I'm carrying the Sterling family's flesh and blood. I couldn't possibly do such a thing. You're so desperate to take Lily outside. Who knows if you're trying to destroy some evidence?" Dr. Reed immediately seized the opportunity. "Mr. Sterling, Grandpa Sterling, she is the one who should be investigated most thoroughly. The child's problem occurred in her care. She definitely has something to hide." Caleb Sterling, the 8th son, kicked over a nearby chair. "Enough. Tie her up first, then question her slowly." 2 bodyguards lunged at me again. I clutched the baby and scrambled back towards the patio, my back hitting the railing. There was nowhere left to retreat. The night wind howled in. The little one in my arms suddenly let out a very soft whimper. Though faint, my heart jumped. "It's working!" My eyes welled up, and I almost screamed. "She reacted just now. Didn't you hear it?" Everyone looked at me as if I were a desperate lunatic. Just as the bodyguard reached out to grab me, the doctor's assistant, Dr. Alex Smith, who had been cowering in the corner, suddenly rushed out. He wiped sweat from his brow. Wait! Just now, Lily's fingertips seemed to move. Dr. Reed's face turned deathly pale. Dr. Smith, don't talk nonsense. Dr. Smith's Adam's apple bobbed, and he forced himself to speak. I was close. I don't think I saw wrong. And infants in breathlessness or feigned death can indeed experience brief recovery under specific stimulation. Sarah White's face instantly went white, and she sharply interrupted. Are you all going crazy one by one? Experimenting on a month-old baby? Who will be responsible if something goes wrong? Mr. Sterling had been silent. Only then did he slowly raise his head, his gaze fixed on the baby's face. Open the door. Let her take the child to the patio. Sarah White's breath hitched. Mr. Sterling. Mr. Sterling glared at her. I said, open the door. The patio door was fully pushed open. The moment the cold wind swept in, Lily in my arms suddenly gave a very soft gasp. The next second, a hoarse, broken cry came from Evelyn Sterling's direction. Let me see my daughter. Evelyn Sterling was helped by a maid, stumbling out. Her face was streaked with tears, her hair disheveled. Completely disregarding her appearance, she lunged forward, wanting to touch the baby. I instinctively moved a step sideways with the baby. At this slight movement, Evelyn froze. Sarah White, however, seemed to seize the opportunity and immediately stepped forward to support her. Evelyn, don't worry, the child is all ready. Slap. Before she could finish, Evelyn raised her hand and delivered a sharp slap. Sarah White's head snapped sideways, and half her face quickly swelled and reddened. Evelyn was trembling all over, her voice cracking. Get away from me. You are not allowed to touch my daughter. Sarah White covered her face, tears instantly streaming down. Evelyn, I'm just worried about you. Evelyn ignored her completely, her bloodshot eyes fixed on me. You just said she wasn't gone, but was harmed and stopped breathing? Yes. Dr. Reed still tried to step forward. Evelyn, don't let her mislead you. Evelyn sharply turned, grabbed a vase from a nearby table, and smashed it bang at his feet. Shards scattered. My daughter is in this state, and you're still telling me who to listen to? If she still has a breath in her, anyone who dares to stop me, I'll make them pay with their life. The Sterling sons all froze. Sarah White's face was extremely grim, but she still tried to speak again. But Evelyn. Grandpa Richard Sterling's cane thumped heavily on the ground. Silence. The old man's chest heaved violently, his eyes completely bloodshot. No one is to stop her today. But you remember this. If you're playing games with me, you'll join my granddaughter in the grave. I nodded heavily at Evelyn and Grandpa Richard Sterling, then quickly rushed to the patio with the baby, placed her on a wicker chair, and unfastened her swaddle. Dr. Alex Smith also followed, his forehead beaded with sweat. Loosen her clothes, don't cover her chest. First, check for chest rise and fall. I did as he said, my hands trembling violently. The baby's voice in my head grew weaker and weaker. Faster, faster. Tears suddenly welled up in my eyes. Don't fall asleep. Dr. Smith's hands trembled with urgency, and he immediately began emergency stimulation. Pat her feet lightly, then feel her neck for a very faint pulse. Nothing. There was nothing. Sarah White stood not far away, covering her face, a sinister glint slowly surfacing in her eyes. Mr. Sterling, isn't that enough? If we keep tormenting her like this, Lily won't even have her final dignity. Mr. Sterling clenched his fists, his knuckles cracking, but he said nothing. Dr. Smith's face grew paler and paler. It's completely over. I slumped to the ground. mumbling. Dr. Smith checked Lily's chest, his eyes dimming, even his lips trembling. Sarah White subtly let out a breath, as if she had finally waited for this moment, and raised her hand to call the bodyguards. "Take her." Dr. Smith suddenly shuddered. Then he abruptly looked up and shrieked. "Wait!" Lily, she moved,